Hi guys, my name is Beverly and this is my first YouTube video, so I'm going to try to do my best, but I'm brand new at this, so just bear with me here. I wanted to start documenting my new process because I am pregnant and this is my first pregnancy. I just wanted to kind of make a way to remember everything for our next kids, hopefully if we have more. And just a way to kind of like look back at the memories, because there's just no way that I would be able to do this by writing it all down and just remembering it. I thought this just would be the easiest way, and I love watching other vlogs or other videos like this where they document things, and it kind of is helpful because they talk about what they're currently going through or what they have been going through. And honestly, I've watched them for so long. I have a ton of favorite ones, but anyway, so I thought it would be cool just to kind of start doing it myself. Hopefully if it goes good, I'll just kind of keep up with everything, although it is really hard. I do work full-time and I am very busy, and I actually wanted to make this video like weeks and weeks ago, like when I first found out, but then I thought about it would just be much better if I waited, because I know certain things can happen in the beginning, to miscarriage or other issues, and I just didn't want to make a video if something like that was to happen. So I am just now out of my first trimester, so I'm basically just going to go over everything that I've been through so far of the first trimester. I tried to write it all down just so I could remember what I could say at the video, because it is hard to remember like certain little things from like 2 or 3 months ago, honestly. But anyways, I just love watching other YouTube videos like this, and I think that they are so helpful. I've literally watched them for like years, and now that like I'm actually going through it, I think it'd be kind of cool to just start making it my own videos. So currently I am just 17 weeks, I think, as of today. But so that's my second trimester, but I'm just going to go everything that's happened so far, so everything in my first trimester, and kind of like how I found out and everything like that. So if you're interested, just keep watching. Like I said, my name is Beverly, by the way. My husband's name is Chris, and this is our first child and first pregnancy. I actually found out like almost a week before I was supposed to start my period or be late or whatever. I was supposed to start on a Wednesday, and the Thursday before that, so basically a full week, I don't really know what, but I was at work and all of a sudden, like just literally out of nowhere, like I felt just different. Still don't know how to explain it exactly, but I just felt different, and I wasn't like a sick feeling. It wasn't like something was bad or anything. I just felt different, like in my stomach area, I guess is the only way to explain it. And the only thing I could think of is like if I was pregnant, or I actually thought like initially that I was just gonna start my period early, because like I said, I was supposed to start Wednesday, which was the next week. So that night when I went home, I just took like a little pregnancy test. I had ordered like a box of them off Amazon with like ovulation tests and stuff like that, just so I would be able to find out once I went off the pill. And it was weird because I know you're supposed to have 2 lines if it's a positive and 1 if it's a negative, obviously. But so the first line was solid, and then the second line, it was like half there. It wasn't like solid, but I could see there was like something was there. And so I kind of thought it could have been positive, but then I started like Googling it and reading more on the box of the paperwork. And I guess there are so many ways you could have like a false positive or false negative and like all these other things, so I didn't really like think too much of it. I actually didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell my husband. But so I thought, okay, well, we'll see like if the lines are still there in a day or two. So the next day I came home from work and I did the same thing, and the line was basically the same. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just wait until I start my period, which would have been almost the next week. And so I kind of took 1 test per day when I got home, and then I realized like I kind of put them in order like after 3 or 4 days, and I realized that they started to get like a little darker, and by like Saturday, Sunday, like a few days later, it was like, I mean, I could tell it was basically positive just because it was getting like darker. So we had our anniversary dinner Sunday night. We went to Ruth Chris in Orlando, and it's not far from us, but So I thought that would be kind of a cool way to tell my husband the big news. So we were at the dinner table and we hadn't ordered anything, but I did tell him, and I think he was obviously not super shocked, but he was really surprised, and he kind of was like, are you sure? Are you sure? And I told him the whole story, like I just told you about the lines, different tests, but I told him that like I personally wasn't 100% sure myself because I hadn't started my period yet, and I always thought that like you'll know when you're late or you don't get a period basically. And so it was still, like I said, that was Sunday, and I was supposed to start Wednesday according to this app thing. So I told him that you know, we can wait until Wednesday, and if I don't get anything, then it's definitely positive, it's true. Or just to be 100% complete sure, like totally sure, I could call like my doctor's office and get some type of blood work, because I know that's like the most official way to make sure, instead of like the test, because of the false negatives and positives and all these other things that could happen. So anyways, I called Monday and I made an appointment for Wednesday, which would have been the day I was supposed to start. So that Wednesday I went and got blood work, and it was just really simple, just took like 5 minutes. I got the blood work, and then my gynecologist office, they called me later that day and they said that yes, it was positive. So I was correct, it was positive, but just for my own well-being and my husband, I wanted to make like completely sure that it was positive. So I told him, I think, yeah, that day when he got home from work, I told him that yes, like it is for sure that I was pregnant. So we were both excited. I think it took us a while to kind of, I don't know, just like hit us to know it was real. I mean, because I didn't feel any different, I didn't look any different. Obviously, like he didn't look any different, so it was kind of like, I don't know, it was just a new feeling. So it took me a long time to like feel like I was pregnant, or like something like is really, really happening basically. So anyway, so that's kind of a cool story, how I found out and how I told him. And they told me like how many days or weeks they predicted I was by like the number in the blood. I'm not sure how they do that, but they told me I was between like 4 and 6 weeks, which I personally thought it was 4 weeks just because I had the app that I was just tracking like to keep up with my period and all that kind of stuff. So I was around 4 weeks. But anyway, so I wrote down a bunch of symptoms that I had, or like things that I like went on during my first trimester. So made like a little bit of notes, so I'm just gonna kind of go over it. The first thing, like I would say that like I really noticed, was stomach cramps, which they kind of feel like PMS cramps, period cramps, or whatever. It's like your lower stomach area, it just gets like really, really tight, and just like that cramping feeling. So I was somewhat used to it just because it felt like stomach cramps, but at the same time, like it wasn't for a few days and then it would stop for another month. Like it kind of was like off and on, from when I basically found out around like 4 weeks or so till honestly almost the end of like the first trimester. Like it sometimes were, you know, worse than others, but sometimes it was like really, really bad. But it was just like really bad like period cramps, I guess. So if obviously if you're a woman you can relate. But and then also like my energy level, I noticed, was a lot lower. I mean, it wasn't like terrible to the point like, oh, I can't do anything, or you know, I can't get up and walk around and do my day-to-day like obligations at work and other things, but I could just tell physically, mentally, just I was just so tired. It was like I got like half a night's sleep basically, and like you're going, but you're just tired like off and on the whole day. Like I pretty much felt like that most days. And then I just kind of learned to, I guess, deal with it, make the best that you can do. I still worked. I didn't miss a day of work. I didn't not go and do something I had to go and do. But like if it was something that I didn't have to go and do, I kind of told myself like, okay, just stay home, rest, or take it easy, do whatever you need to do. And then kind of like I would lay down. If I was like cleaning the house, I'd lay down, take a break. Or just have some caffeine or something, just do what you gotta do. But it wasn't terrible, but it was something that was noticeable basically for me. Obviously bloating, like with the stomach cramps, like it kind of went together, like just the bloating of the lower stomach area. But again, like honestly, it just felt like when you're on your period, like you're just uncomfortable, like you're bloated. I just kind of felt like that. when my stomach was cramping so much. I know like chest size, like sometimes people notice it instantly, but honestly I didn't notice it instantly. I mean, I maybe noticed a little bit of difference, like my boobs got a little bigger, not anything drastic at all. I don't really have big boobs to begin with, so but I noticed like a little bit, maybe like around 8 weeks or something like that. I noticed a little difference, but again, like I'm wearing the same shirt, same bra, same everything. It wasn't anything drastic, but it was just slightly. And then weight gain, obviously I know that's part of it. I know some people are different. Some people gain a lot, some people hardly gain anything. I know I went to my 8 weeks appointment, and then, you know, I went a month later to my 12 weeks. From my 8 to my 12, I had gained, I think, like 3 or 3.5 pounds. It was somewhere around like 3 and 3.5 pounds. So not terrible, but just like a few pounds. And then I wrote down like morning sickness or nausea or something like that. Like I never had any of that, thank God. I think I was very, very fortunate so far to not have any like major issues, because I know some people, like I've seen on YouTube or just heard from friends and family, that some people just have like morning sickness, but they have it all day long. Like there's just that nauseous feeling basically. And I'm just like so thankful that I did not have any of that. Like honestly, like from a scale of like 1 to 10, like I probably had a handful of days like that first trimester where I had any nausea, and it was probably like a 2 or a 3. It was not like had to stop what I was doing or I was gonna throw up. It was just like the tiniest of tiny. It wasn't anything terrible, thank goodness. And then maternity clothes, like the first trimester, I didn't wear any I didn't buy any maternity clothes, so obviously I didn't wear any. The only thing I did do differently, I would say probably around like 10 weeks or so, until like the end of my first trimester, some of my jeans that were like tighter, you know, they're stretchy, but they're still tight. What I did is I took like a rubber band and put it around like the buttonhole, and then you looped it, and then you put the other end around like the button. And so it kind of gives you like a few inches of space basically. So for any of my jeans that were like tighter feeling, I did that toward the end, and I just still wore them. They weren't like uncomfortable anywhere else. But I wore the same dresses, same shirt, same workout clothes, like same everything. Just like the jeans, I kind of started to do that toward the end. And I could have worn them, but I didn't want to be like uncomfortable because like the cramping and the bloating and stuff. So I just did that with like a hair tie. And then obviously, yes, I did initially start taking the prenatal vitamins. And actually we're taking them before I was even pregnant, just because I know it's a good idea like a few months before you're actually pregnant, just to have it in your system and things like that. And plus I always heard it was really good for your hair and your skin and things like that, for your hair to grow. So I was taking them, so I just kept taking them obviously. But I actually take the gummy kinds because I hate swallowing pills. Like I have never in my life liked swallowing pills. I don't know what it is, but I hate it. But I just got them from my like local grocery store, Publix. I think they were like $10 for a huge bottle of gummies, and I take 2 a day. And it's a prenatal, it has folic acid and the DHA, which when I went to my OB, she made sure I was taking something with all that in it. And I told her it was just from Publix, a gummy, and she said that was fine. Like you don't need to get a prescription or anything like from a doctor or anything like that. Like the store stuff is fine too. So, okay, so the next thing is when we told our families, because he and I told him that like I did not want to tell anyone just in case like something went wrong, or just basically if something went wrong. And like I knew that like most people don't say anything at least till you're like 12 weeks or something like that. So Mother's Day was coming up in May. It was like middle, like 20 something of May or something like that. I can't remember exactly. And we were gonna have my mom and my dad, they're divorced, but they both come, and then obviously his parents and his brother over at our house, and his grandparents. They all live close by. I don't have any grandparents alive, but he has one set of grandparents on his dad's side that we usually host like Mother's Day, Father's Day, stuff like that at our house. That way both sides of our family can come. So I thought it'd be really cool to like tell both of our families on Mother's Day. because by Mother's Day I was going to be, I think, exactly 8 weeks. So I thought, okay, that's a, you know, as long as everything's still good by then, that's a good time to tell just our families, not like everyone. And so we didn't tell anyone until Mother's Day, and then it was kind of cool how we told them, because I wanted something to, like, for the, like a gift, because I always get them like some kind of gift for Mother's Day. Obviously, it's nothing super fancy like jewelry, or maybe just something like for the house, or just something personal that I know that both of our moms would like. So we went online on Amazon, and they had these like little coffee cups, and they were just like the regular size, and they were white with black writing. It said, "The best moms get promoted to grandmas." And I thought like a gift telling them would be better than us just say, "Hey, I'm pregnant, we're having a baby," or, you know, whatever we're gonna say. I thought it would be kind of cool to like let them find out, and then everyone else kind of find out at the same time too, while they're opening the gifts. And so I don't know why I'm out of breath, but I'm out of breath. So anyway, so we had both of our families over, like I said, both of our moms, for Mother's Day. And so we were done eating and everything, and I went and got their gifts, and I got them, like, it's up in a big bag, because I got them like 2 or 3 other gifts along with that coffee cup. Anyway, so they both of our moms ended up sitting by each other at like the end of the table where all of us were. There was about 10 of us, and they were opening the gifts, and we were both kind of like looking at each other, kind of like, okay, I wonder how this is gonna go. Just because my mom and dad already have grandkids. My brother has 3 kids, but his parents are not grandparents. They don't have any grandkids yet. So I thought it'd be, I don't know, I just thought maybe they would react differently, like his parents and my parents, stuff like that. So anyway, so they're opening the gifts, and like I said, they ended up sitting by each other, which was really cool, just because we could look both of them at the same time and everything. And my mom actually ended up opening like the coffee cup first, like it was in like a little box inside like the gift bag, and she ended up opening it first. She looked at it, she read it, and she kind of like put it out, and like she looked at me, she's like, "Is it true?" or "Is it true?" or something like that. And I was like, "Well, what do you think? What do you think?" And then everyone else kind of like looked at me like, "Who's gonna be a grandma?" Because my mom already has grandkids, so that's maybe why she was saying that, I'm not sure. Anyways, and then she kind of got up and gave my husband a hug, and she kind of got a little emotional. I don't know if she was crying or not, but you could see her eyes were watering, and she was just really happy. And then she came and gave me a hug, and then everyone else kind of said like congratulations, stuff like that. And so his mom was really happy as well too. I think she got a little emotional, stuff like that. And like, so everyone just, like I said, told us congratulations, and they were like surprised, but also really, really happy at the same time. So, which was really good, that I think that we told them at the same time. And then after everything was all said and done, we kind of just said nicely, like, you know, please don't say anything yet to anyone, just because I wanted to wait until I was a little bit farther along. In my mind, I thought maybe like around 12 weeks or so, just because I know that's kind of like the normal time for people to tell. But we just said that we would let you know, and just so that way we could announce it first to everyone, instead of like, you know, them just telling people or putting it on social media or something like that. But anyway, so that was around 8 weeks, and that was exactly the same time that I had my first OB appointment. Looking at my notes again, but anyway, so I had my first doctor's appointment with my OB around 8 weeks, and my husband went with me, of course. But so we did like an ultrasound just to confirm the pregnancy, to see how far along you are. And I kind of told her what I generally thought, because I had an app, and at that point I thought I was basically like around 8 weeks is what I told her. And so they did an ultrasound, and they gave us like the little picture and stuff like that, so I thought that was really cool. And they told us like the exact due date, like the size of the baby, all that, the general information. So obviously we met with our doctor. She's really nice. My husband really liked her. She seemed very like down to earth, very nice. I did a bunch of blood work in like the lab at my doctor's office, I guess just to confirm everything with me and the pregnancy. I'm not sure exactly, but it was a ton of blood, all I know, and I hate needles, so that was not good. And obviously urine too, just to test me to make sure everything was healthy with me. So I had my next appointment at 12 weeks, because you go once a month for the first trimester. So I went back at 12 weeks. It was just me, because my husband couldn't get off work, and I didn't really think they were going to do a lot, so it was just fine. I went by myself. So at 12 weeks, met the doctor again with her. We sat down, and she basically just went over like all of my blood work results in my urine, and she said that everything was good, everything was just like exactly how it should be, like all my levels basically were good, so that was great to hear. They did do the heart rate. I think it was one of her like assistants or one of the nurses. They checked the heart rate. It was within the normal range. I don't remember the number, but they said it was within the normal range. And at that time, I made my appointment for like down the road to get genetic testing for the baby, which I know you don't have to do. And I've asked a lot of my friends and some family, and so far I don't really think anyone's done it. I'm not sure why, but me and my husband just thought it would be kind of good to know, and then they can tell you like the gender, and they can tell you like all this information. So we haven't got it yet, but I'll let you know whenever I do get it and the results and everything. And then of course they just did like basic stuff like your blood pressure, weight, ask you how you're feeling, just all this different stuff like, you know, any doctor's appointment basically would do. Although I remember asking her, the OB, if it was okay for me to go to the chiropractor, because I wasn't sure, you know, if I should go or not, so I haven't gone at that point. So I asked her and she said yes, just tell them obviously you are pregnant and make sure you go to someone that, you know, you trust. And she asked me what the issue was, and I told her. And I've had back issues like off and on, I mean ever since I've been like basically a teenager in high school. And I actually did hurt my back a while ago. It was like a year and a half ago. It's been a while, but I hurt my lower right back, like really low down, like the very the lowest part of your back. I hurt it at the gym. I was doing CrossFit at the time, but just kind of like a freak accident. Had to get some therapy, and it was like super painful. I didn't work for a few days, and I was just like in excruciating pain. I guess I like slipped a couple discs like at the very bottom, like I said, on your back, and it was mostly like the right side, but it hurt everywhere, but that was like the center of the pain. And so I told her all that, and I said just like that general area just feels like, I don't know, just like hurts. Like I feel like I need an adjustment. So she told me yes, I could go, and so I went to my chiropractor. Obviously told him I was pregnant, and they actually had a chiropractor there that specializes in if you are pregnant or any type of like sensitivity where you have to do certain type of adjustments, like instead of just the standard ones, I guess. Anyway, so she adjusted me, and I felt so much better. I told her all the issues, like I just told you that I had. Told her I was pregnant, like I said. And she actually like did some type of like, she felt in like my lower back and like asked me questions while she was doing it. And I guess she said it actually wasn't my back. It was really low down, and it was like my pelvic bone. She's on like, as I'm laying on my stomach, she's doing this to my back. And she said that basically your pelvic bone is like a triangle. And so like the far right side, which would be like my right part of my back, like really low down, but basically my back, was like out of place. It just was not lined up how it should be. And so she did some certain type of adjustments like I had never done before, and it actually did really help. Like when I left there, I did some type of therapy too. I didn't do like the standard therapy because you can't have any of the anything penetrating. I don't know what you call it, but like regular therapy is like pulses and stuff like that. I don't know what you call that stuff. But anyways, I couldn't do just the regular therapy like how I had done before and most people can do. I actually had to do like, it was called the aqua one. It's where you basically like lay on a bed, and like these two, like it's like jets of water, but it's like all underneath, and it like goes all the way down your body. And you can do it hot or cold, or like the pressures of it, how high and how low and everything. So it's kind of cool, and it helped after my adjustment. It was just like a different type of therapy. I think it was called like aqua therapy or something like that. Anyway, so she told me to come back. I went back a week later, and they did the same thing, and they told me that basically that I needed to come in, like every time I see my OB, that I should get an adjustment. So that's my plan. And so that's pretty much everything I have written down. I did ask my doctor if I could travel, like flying or going anywhere out of state or anything like that. They said yes, up until you're 32 weeks, so obviously that was fine. I could travel. We actually had 2 weddings in the same weekend. One was here in Florida, in Tampa, and then the other one was in Texas. So we flew out like on a Saturday or something like that. yes, Saturday early in the morning, and the next day was the wedding. And so she just told me, like, if I was on a long flight, which Florida to Texas is not really a long flight, it's like 2.5 hours at the most. She told me to like get up and walk around if I felt just really tired, or if I was going to be sitting for a long period of time, like hours at a time, whether you're in a car, plane, whatever you're doing, I don't know. Anyways, I guess because you're pregnant, you're more likely to get blood clots in your legs from like sitting because of all the pressure and stuff like that. So luckily I haven't had any issues with that. But if I was to travel like longer distances or sitting in the car, doing like that, like I do try to get up and walk around, or I would try to get up and walk around. But I didn't have any issues. We flew out to Texas, and at that point we had not told anyone yet. So I just was kind of doing my day-to-day stuff. And anyway, so that about wraps it up. And so that was my whole first trimester. And then, you know, how we found out and how we told our parents and our family and everything. So I'm going to try to do another video to do my second trimester, but I have to wait a while because I just started my second trimester. Like I said, I think I'm currently 17 weeks. So toward the end of it, I'll try to do another update, everything that went through my second trimester, my third, and maybe I'll do more videos as it gets towards the end, like every week or so. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope it was helpful. I know that when I watch other videos and I hear other people talk about their stories, about what they're going through or what they have gone through, it's just really helpful, and it's just good to hear other people talk about it, if they have any of the same issues. And like I said, I feel like I'm very, very fortunate that I didn't have any like nauseous or super painful anything. I haven't had any type of issue so far. Like, I feel very lucky. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.